Okay, let's dive into this explainer. You know, we deal with confrontation literally everywhere. Work, home, you name it. We're always told that honesty is the best policy, right? And standing up for what's right is absolutely a strength. But here is the kicker. Our source material highlights that these strengths kind of backfire if you don't use tact. It's not just about what you say, it's how you say it that actually builds trust.
So think about it. Do you stay silent to avoid a messy conflict? Or do you just speak bluntly and risk blowing up the relationship? It's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. So many of us get trapped here, honestly believing these are the only two options on the table. But guess what? There is totally a third option. It's called constructive confrontation. Now, this doesn't mean dodging the tough talks. Actually, it's about leaning into them, but making them wildly more productive. We're not here to prove who's right or who's wrong. The whole shebang is about solving the problem while, and this is key, preserving and even building trust.
Section 1. Confrontation at work. Let's look at some real-world applications.
Think back to your last really rough workplace conversation. Imagine dealing with a broken workflow and just snapping. This process is a total mess. Nobody has a clue what they're doing. Yikes, right? Instantly puts everyone on the defensive. But what if we tried this instead? I've noticed this process creates delays. Could we review the bottlenecks? Man, what a difference. It shifts the whole vibe from pointing fingers at people to actually fixing the system.
So how do we make sure we don't just snap? Well, you can think of this as your pre-conversation playbook. First, what's the specific problem? Second, what's your supporting evidence? Third, what's your desired outcome? And fourth, what's your suggested improvement? If you can't answer those four things, honestly, you're just not ready to have that chat yet. Take a beat and figure them out first.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this core idea right here. Criticism without direction rarely creates change. Venting might feel amazing in the moment, for sure, but if you aren't pointing the way out of the mess, you're really just complaining. You're not moving the needle at all.
This is super relevant when you're given feedback, too. Saying something like, "You always make mistakes," is just brutal. It immediately puts them on trial. But pivot that to, "Hey, I noticed some reoccurring issues. Can we review them together to prevent them next time?" Do you see how that completely takes the spotlight off judging them and puts it right onto improving things for the future?
To make feedback actually stick, follow these steps. First, describe the observation objectively. Then, explain the impact. Third, actually ask for their perspective. Invite them into the dialogue. And finally, work together on a solution. It's about education, not punishment. Feedback is literally only valuable if it leads directly to learning.
Let's move to Section 2, leading and relating, and see how this builds into broader dynamics.
Whether you're running a massive department or just trying to survive family dinners, this stuff adapts perfectly. Think about an unconstructive leader who instantly highlights every tiny mistake. The team just shuts down, right? They're terrified to speak up. But a constructive leader? They acknowledge what actually works first, discuss one improvement, and then invite suggestions. It completely transforms the room from defensive to collaborative.
If you're leading a team, run this quick leadership check in your head. Ask yourself, am I just trying to prove my point or genuinely improve performance? Have I actually listened before responding? And have I made it safe for others to contribute? Trust me, leadership levels up the second your conversations encourage learning instead of just demanding compliance.
And hey, this works wonders at home too. We've all dropped the classic, "you never listen" bomb. But look at this constructive alternative. I feel unheard. Could we spend a few minutes understanding each other's perspectives? It tackles the exact same real issue, but without attacking the person you care about. It's a total game changer. Okay, so when emotions are running super hot, like maybe someone loaded the dishwasher completely wrong, again, we need a fallback plan before we respond emotionally. Number 1, just pause. Take a breath. 2, identify the real issue. 3, express how it affects you using I statements. And 4, ask for a shared solution. Strong relationships tackle problems together. They don't just assign blame.
And this brilliantly illustrates a golden rule for decision-making. Better decisions come from examining ideas, not personalities. It is so tempting to shoot down an idea just because you're annoyed by the person pitching it, right? But constructive confrontation forces us to look at the idea on its own. Separate the idea from the individual.
Moving right along to Section 3, the Constructive Checklist, a fantastic universal tool for you. Before you open your mouth for a tough talk, run through these quick hits.
Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it the right time? Are you attacking the problem versus the person? Have you suggested a solution? And, crucially, are you actually trying to understand as much as you want to be understood? Seriously, these simple questions are the difference between starting a fight and making real progress.
I want you to really think about this. In your last big argument, were you just seeking to release frustration, or were you actually trying to create improvement? Because unconstructive confrontation, that just protects your ego. It's letting off steam. Constructive confrontation protects the relationship while actually getting things fixed.
Finally, Section 4, Building Lasting Trust. Let's see how this creates lasting influence.
To make this stick as a permanent habit, try a quick 5-minute reflection after your next tough chat. First up, did I focus on the issue rather than the individual? Like, did I successfully separate the messy problem from the actual human being sitting across from me?
Question 2. Did I listen before responding? You know, the most powerful communicators in the room aren't the ones shouting the loudest or winning every debate. They're the ones who genuinely listen with respect and actually process things before they fire back. Number 3. Did I offer a constructive alternative? Remember that quote from earlier? Criticism without direction is basically useless. Did you step up and help steer that conversation toward a real, actionable solution?
And the big one, did the conversation strengthen or weaken trust? That is the ultimate litmus test right there. Because every single difficult conversation is a massive hidden opportunity to actually upgrade the quality of your relationship.
So the crucial point is really captured in this simple formula. Being principled, standing up for what is true and right is fantastic. But doing it with tact, that is the secret sauce. That's what builds deep trust, strengthens relationships, and creates lasting influence. You never have to choose between being honest and being kind. You absolutely can and must do both.
I'll leave you with this one thought to chew on. The very next time you're frustrated, you've got a choice. Will your next difficult conversation merely create conflict just to protect your ego? Or will you use this playbook to solve the problem and build lasting trust? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Now go put this into practice today.